Is the world actually a cruel place? Most people would immediately say no. But that answer might depend on an assumption we almost never question. Most of us assume something about life without even thinking about it. That life is overall a good thing. Sure, bad things happen, but deep down we believe the world is not really cruel. And because of that, we tend to see pessimists in a very simple way. We assume they're just negative people, people who focus too much on the dark side of things. But what if pessimists aren't just being negative? What if they're noticing something about existence that the rest of us prefer not to think about? When I started reading about pessimism, I kept running into the same kind of discussion: optimism versus pessimism. But this framing already misses something important, because it treats pessimism like a personality trait, like a mood, as if pessimists are simply people who choose to see the glass half empty. But philosophical pessimism isn't really about mood at all. It's about a claim about reality. The strongest pessimists are not saying life has bad things in it. They're saying something much stronger: that suffering is not just a part of life. It may actually be built into existence itself. Most articles avoid this stronger argument, probably because it's much harder to answer. So instead, the debate gets simplified into something harmless. Some people see the glass half full, others see it half empty. But pessimists are asking a much more uncomfortable question. Not whether the glass is half empty, but whether the glass itself might be flawed. There is a very simple observation that makes pessimism suddenly feel disturbingly plausible, and it's not abstract philosophy. It's something you can see in everyday life. Life requires constant effort just to avoid things getting worse. Think about it. If you stop doing almost everything that sustains your life, things don't stay the same, they deteriorate. Stop eating and you starve. Stop exercising and your body weakens. Stop maintaining relationships and they slowly fade. Stop cleaning and your environment decays. Good states require effort to maintain. Bad states happen automatically. You could think of it like pushing a boulder up a hill. As long as you keep pushing, it stays in place. But the moment you stop, it rolls down. Health, stability, relationships, meaning, they all seem to work like this. They require continuous effort. And the moment effort stops, things begin to fall apart. Which makes pessimists suspect something deeper. Maybe the universe itself is tilted toward disorder, decay, and loss, and our lives are just temporary attempts to resist it. From this perspective, pessimists notice something strange about reality. Suffering often seems to happen by default. Happiness, on the other hand, usually requires many things to go right at the same time: effort, luck, health, stable circumstances, and support from other people. But suffering doesn't need nearly as much. It can arise from illness, loss, loneliness, anxiety, accidents, or simply the slow process of aging. Many of the worst experiences in life appear without our consent and often without warning. And that leads pessimists to a difficult question. If suffering arises so easily, while happiness requires so many conditions to align, what does that say about the structure of existence? Some philosophers noticed this pattern long before modern psychology or science. One of the most famous was Arthur Schopenhauer. His argument was simple: life is driven by endless desire. Desire creates dissatisfaction. And even when desires are fulfilled, satisfaction fades quickly. So existence becomes a cycle: desire, satisfaction, boredom, new desire. And if that's true, lasting peace may be much rarer than we like to think. But pessimists go even further. They point out something strange about how we think about happiness and suffering. Most of us believe something like this: it is morally urgent to prevent suffering, but it is not morally urgent to create happiness. For example, if we saw a child being harmed, we would feel an immediate obligation to stop it. But we don't usually feel the same kind of obligation to create additional happy lives. Preventing suffering seems extremely important. Creating happiness feels optional. And if suffering matters more than happiness, then its existence becomes a serious problem, because every life that exists will eventually experience suffering, whether through illness, loss, fear, or death. Maybe pessimists are exaggerating, but before dismissing them, consider something simple. If you stopped trying for a month, stopped working, stopped exercising, stopped maintaining relationships, stopped pursuing goals, would your life get better or worse? Maybe pessimists are right about one thing. Life is fragile. Happiness is not guaranteed. And suffering is always close. But maybe that's exactly what makes the moments when life is good feel almost miraculous.